Hello, welcome back to Truth Seekers Tea. My name is Kate, and I am thankful, as always, to have you here for our pick a card reading. So we're going to be looking at seeing who is in your energy field. We're going to be seeing who has been wanting to talk to you and what they want to say. So there will be an energy check-in because I'm going to see who this person is essentially. So we'll start off with that, and I'm going to see how you view them. And then we'll see what they're wanting to say to you next. And there will be extended readings. I'll have them linked down below. Both Vimeo and the Gumroad links work. So there are 3 piles to choose from. For pile number 1, we have the Starlight Tarot with this orange calcite palm stone. For pile number 2, we have the Neopets Tarot with this, oh my gosh, why is my brain going blank right now? Amethyst point. Is that right? Wow. For some reason, my mind is just not able to know that right now. Anyways, for pile number 3, we have the Mystic Mondays Tarot with this rose quartz raw crystal. So take whatever time you need. I usually just pick the pile that I'm just initially drawn to. I don't really overthink it. But there will be that energy check-in. Multiple piles could resonate for you. So yeah, I would just listen to the energy check-ins and go from there. So I will have the timestamps linked down below, the extendeds. I will have the names of these decks in case you guys are interested. And other than that, I'll see you at your pile. Hello, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the Starlight Tarot and this orange calcite palm stone, then this is going to be your reading where we're going to be looking at who is wanting to talk to you and why. So we're going to start off with who the person is that is wanting to speak with you, wanting to tell you something. So this is going to be in the category of anyone that has had you on their mind, has been thinking about communicating with you, or has been wanting to talk to you. So we're going to see who this person is to you. Like, how would you view this person? And that is meant to be an energy check-in to help you feel sure that you know who this is, and also to help you identify who this person is. I realize because this isn't necessarily... You could have someone already in mind, but we are going to be seeing who's kind of in your energy field. So for pile number 1, Spirit, who is thinking about pile number 1? Who's wanting to talk to pile number 1 about something? Who's wanting to talk to pile number 1? Who is this person, and how would pile number 1 describe this person? Okay, we have the Fool in reverse, Aquarius energy. We have the 4 of Pentacles. Okay, so already a vibe is coming through of this would be someone that you consider, they don't like taking risks. They're very risk averse. This is, the 4 of Pentacles is all about being, it's all about security and not wanting to take risks, not wanting to gamble. It's almost like the opposite of that energy. It's like kind of clinging on to security and almost foregoing expansion because of there being a need to cling to what's safe or familiar. So yeah, let's get some more though. How does pile number 1 view this person? We have the 10 of Swords in reverse. We have the 6 of Swords. I'm wondering if this is someone that you've moved on from. Yeah, maybe this person, the Knight of Swords in reverse. I'm wondering if they never took action toward you, or this could be someone you felt like held their cards really close to their chest. And so maybe you kind of just had to, it almost feels like silence causing an ending, or a lack of information, someone never maybe sharing the truth or opening up. I feel like they didn't open up to you, and it's maybe something that hurt you, but you had to kind of move on. Can we clarify the Fool in reverse for how pile number 1 views this person. Yeah, 3 of Swords here in reverse. It's also possible that if you didn't already have a history with this person, it could be that you view them as someone that maybe wasn't ready for a new beginning, or someone who really felt like they needed to protect their heart or stick to their comfort zone because they still were carrying baggage or they still had healing to do. That's highly possible as well. What else? How else is pile number 1 view this person? All right, we have the Page of Cups. We have the 2 of Wands. Can we clarify the 6 of Swords? We have the Queen of Cups. Queen of Pentacles here in reverse. Okay, interesting. I wonder if you did have compassion for this person. Maybe this is even someone that you maybe saw that they were kind of tender or closed off in a way, and I feel like you may have had a soft spot for this person, or even had this feeling of wanting to nurture them or wanting to help them move forward or help them see bigger possibilities for themselves, especially with the 2 of Wands. Like, you might have tried to push this person out of their comfort zone or help them get over something. Because there's an energy that's coming through that is very feminine, like a nurturing, almost like a womb kind of an energy. And I say that very specifically in reference to, wow, the womb card is actually right on top here. I'm like seeing this card from the Kim Kran's, oh, I have to sneeze. From the Kim Kran's deck, and I feel like it really talks about, you know, wanting to nurture something almost until it's ready, which is really interesting, because now I'm kind of getting an overall like a vibe of, okay, this is a kind of a crazy analogy, especially this probably is not like a mother-child situation. If it is, you know, maybe that makes more sense, but it almost feels like having wanted to nurture someone to help them grow, similar to like the womb, you know, like it's something that provides nutrients and like protection, and like in this gestation period where it can kind of grow to the point where it's able to survive birth. And like that's almost what I'm seeing as like the Fool card here, but I'm also feeling that this would be more of an analogy where I feel like maybe your nurturing instincts applied to this person in a similar way, where you may have wanted to like nurture them to health, or, you know, be kind of a soft space for them to land, like wanting to support them. Yeah, I feel like this is someone you saw as a need to be almost like delicate with them, or I don't know, maybe you saw this person as very, yeah, like very guarded or very like touchy, or like you might even walked on eggshells a little bit with them, or it's like you understood their limitations. You understood that there was some heavy things going on that maybe made them less open, you know, and it just feels like you maybe wanted to bring like the lighthearted energy out of this person, or maybe kind of inspire them to maybe leave difficult things in the past. The only other situation that I'm seeing is like if you are the person that was going through something very heavy, and the person that's wanting to talk to you is the person that you would see as someone that was maybe very nurturing or very much there for you, maybe in a time where other people didn't really have the patience, or didn't, maybe kind of misunderstood you, because there's kind of a misunderstood vibe coming through where it feels like there's more of a wounded masculine energy and a feminine energy that is more evolved, that was able to kind of empathize with someone else's predicament, or, you know, like where they're at and what they're struggling with, and maybe why they are the way they are. And maybe it's something that was hard, but like they understood it. So I don't know exactly. I feel like you'll know who you are in the situation. I'm just going to clarify. Yeah, I'm seeing the friends here. Like, I do feel like someone was maybe generous to someone else, or maybe was like a friend to them, wanting to boost their confidence. Who is the person that's specifically thinking of pile number one? What is the energy of that person in regards to this context? Yeah, we have the Magician reverse. So yeah, I think the person that wants to talk to you is someone who was feeling disempowered in their life at the time that you guys knew each other, or this could be like, you know them now, and it's like someone that maybe has a hard time really believing in all that believing that they're worthy or capable of creating the reality that they want. And so maybe it's like, yeah, that's what I'm getting here with the Magician. It's someone that was maybe disempowered in a sense. Okay. So yeah, and so if you weren't a part of this person's, if these don't represent your feelings, the Ten of Swords and the Six of Swords, I feel like it's more of something that this person was going through, that yeah, like maybe they were still healing or moving on from a really difficult ending, or like some kind of a betrayal in their life, something that really hurt them. Okay, what does this person want to say to pile number one? We have the Nine of Swords in reverse. We have the King of Cups. We have the Four of Swords. Eight of Cups. Can you clarify the Nine of Swords? We have Judgment in reverse. Yeah, okay, what I'm getting, I do want to say that I feel like they're wanting to tell you that when they were in the headspace that they were in, I feel like when you guys connected, I do feel like they're wanting to acknowledge to you that they didn't have like a clear lens, or they weren't able to emotionally, they weren't able to tune into their emotions, because their mental health might have been in such a place where it was like beyond their capacity essentially. And so I feel like there is this message of them having maybe spent more time healing, in resting and getting and being in a position where they're more in touch with their emotions. Because think about the Three of Swords going to the Four of Swords, where this person seemed to be approaching the Four of Swords after they're healing from the Three of Swords. That's some sort of like heartbreak, or, you know, something where your heart is super tender. Maybe they like weren't emotionally available, and it feels like there is this energy of being more emotionally available now and more in a tune with their true deeper feelings. And even with the Eight of Cups here, like I feel like they've maybe gotten a lot of clarity around, with the Seven of Cups, what wasn't, maybe what they didn't see clearly in the past. I feel like they're starting to see clearly, or I feel like they're starting to see their emotional, like they're able to see the situations around them more through the lens of like, how do I actually feel about this, rather than survival. Because I feel like they were in a survival mode when you guys were connecting. And so I feel like, yeah, with Judgment in reverse, there's this maybe feeling around maybe having made decisions from a place where they didn't really have clarity, or I just feel like there's a general vibe of them wanting to tell you that they didn't, because of their own mindset and like maybe their mental health and like their fears and just like what they were going through, it clouded their judgment. Oh, you know what I'm hearing is the song by Joji that's like, I'd die for you. It kills me a little. It's like, I hope that you're happy. And it's like, I heard that like you're with someone new. It kills me a little, but like I hope it's true in a set. It's kind of like that vibe. So there could be an awakening of feelings, or maybe kind of figuring out their emotional truth after the fact with you. Can you clarify the King of Cups? Leave the Three of Swords. Can we clarify the Four of Swords? Leave the King of Swords in reverse. Can we clarify the Eight of Cups? Leave the Nine of Pentacles. The Magician in reverse here. Yeah, I do feel like it's possible that they like didn't communicate with you, or I don't know, like they didn't take action towards you or something. But I'm kind of getting with like the King of Swords in reverse, I'm wondering if this person was coming from an extremely logical place, because I'm kind of seeing here with the Three of Swords, I'm seeing the heart versus the head. And I feel like in the past, this person, because their head, maybe they had so much going on in their head and like they were so blocked off from their heart that I feel like they may have been a little bit cold with you, or out of tune with their heart when they were last maybe interacting with you. You know, they might have made it, yeah, they may have just been very, very logical in the situation with you and not really considered their deeper emotional truths. And it's giving survival mode. It's giving like almost using my mental capacity to, you know, keep me safe. Because it's almost this vibe of like, I was nowhere near, I was just trying to avoid worst case scenarios. Like that's what they're kind of saying is like, when we were interacting in the past, I wasn't in this position where I felt like I could create my ideal outcome. Like I wasn't even in the headspace where I was trying to maximize the situation. Does that make sense? Or like I wasn't even, yeah, I hope that makes sense, where you're not even in a mindset where you're even dreaming about your best case scenario and acting in a way that and taking risks and chances to kind of try to get that to happen. They're saying that they were in a headspace where they were, even if they were missing the bigger point, and even if they, I'm getting like couldn't see the forest from the trees, they the way they were acting was truly out of scarcity and out of survival mode, where it wasn't even about wanting the situation with you or not wanting the situation with you, or how this connection unfolded, because it feels like they were still in this space where they were doing everything they could to not be vulnerable or to feel less afraid or less bad. And so if they acted in ways that maybe really disregarded your experience, or it's almost like they weren't able to be empathetic to maybe how you were feeling or what was going on with you, because they may have, again, like they may have kind of come off a little bit cold in a sense, but I think what they're trying to say is that is a reflection of where they were at, and it's almost like they were past their capacity, like they were overwhelmed to such a degree that they didn't even have it's almost like I'm trying to even put it into words, but I feel like I connect to this when I feel like there was a time in my life, or I still can feel like this sometimes, where especially if I'm like particularly anxious, or just like I don't feel like myself, like I don't feel like I can even act normal, you know what I mean? Or like I can't even give you the front right now of being, like, what's the right word? It's almost like sometimes when you're struggling really badly, you can, not because you don't care about people or it actually probably does stress you out, the idea of maybe having hurt someone, but it's almost like this feeling of running away from it and just going like, I did what I had to do in that situation because, you know, I couldn't do any better. Like, I can't do any better. I need to run away from this, or I need to just make a decision that, you know, maybe my heart isn't congruent with my heart, but it's like what I have to do for myself to keep moving forward and to keep myself from having like a full breakdown almost is like what I would like to say about it. So yeah, I feel like there is this energy maybe of wanting you to know though that they don't feel like the decision they've made towards you was ever an educated decision, or it was never coming from this place where they saw everything clearly and then that was like their truth, whatever kind of happened here, you know, especially if they, I don't know if they like broke your heart or just were kind of cold. I don't think that was ever like what they thought was like, oh yes, this is the best thing to do right now, or like they never really felt that they were in control of the situation, or that they were, yeah, it's like they were truly in survival mode. I feel like they maybe would want to tell you with the Nine of Pentacles that they're in like a much better place for themselves. Or maybe they were really lacking. They didn't feel like there maybe had like codependency issues, or because they didn't have a certain level of abundance independently, reflected in their life. I almost feel that they were in a position that made it harder to choose the things that they actually want, and to walk away from the things that maybe are familiar but don't really offer them the fulfillment that they're looking for. Feeling called to look at this. Yeah, with the Page of Pentacles here. Yeah, I feel like they didn't have their life together. Okay, let's clarify a little bit. Yeah, there is also this indication here of maybe in the past, yeah, like running away from you is what I'm getting. Like they maybe kind of just avoided you or ran away, and like I feel like they maybe left you waiting or left you feeling very emotionally kind of underappreciated or not fulfilled, or like you were drained, like you overgave to this person, or yeah, that's what I'm kind of getting, is like the emotional energy that you gave and like the nurturing is something that just ended up depleting you, and then it kind of feels like this person was nowhere to be found. Yeah. Okay. Can we clarify Judgment in reverse? Yeah, we have the Six of Swords in reverse. So yeah, in the World in reverse, there's a lot coming here. We have Death here as well. So there's a lot coming through around, they were not in a position where they were maybe even seeing their own past clearly, if that makes sense. Because with Judgment here, I feel, and this could even be something that they're kind of recognizing now, but I feel like they're explaining that their unfinished business or the cycles that they hadn't closed. Oh, I might have to cover that. I'm just going to use this. It's like they still hadn't processed things through, maybe to do with their past. And maybe they felt like there was still a lot that they needed to explore from their past in order to be able to move forward. But yeah, what I'm kind of getting is a lack of completion here, or it's like, especially if you kind of represented the Fool or like a new opportunity to kind of move forward. I feel like it's almost like they weren't really able to move forward because they didn't have a fresh slate yet. You know, it's like they didn't learn the lessons yet. They didn't look at other people's actions and their own actions to see, because judgment is all about a moment where you understand the almost like the error of your ways, but also the error of other people's ways. It's like, it's sometimes we see things a certain way and then we go through a cycle to learn something, and judgment is the moment where you kind of have a realization about what you weren't seeing clearly before. You come to a higher revelation about the deeper meanings and the deeper truths and why things were happening. And like, for example, judgment in reverse might be where you're still sitting in this energy of feeling like very jaded towards someone and kind of stuck in that stagnant energy. Imagine that. And then some judgment coming upright usually has something to do with unpacking your perspective of things and maybe seeing other people more clearly, maybe seeing why they do the things they do, maybe seeing what your role in certain things were, but also, you know, maybe even seeing where you're giving people too much credit, where you're not giving people enough credit, where you're giving yourself too much credit, where you're not giving yourself enough credit. So it's like, it can be any of those situations, but it's really about not seeing things clearly. But it's almost like the reason why we go through certain cycles and lessons and challenges is so we can reach this moment of completion where the shadows have been integrated. Like, we've alchemized it and we're ready to move forward with that wisdom, with the wisdom we learned from the past cycle. They were not in that situation. And I do feel as well, like, it's interesting that we have the 9 of Swords here in reverse rather than the 10 of Swords. Like, it's possible that they hadn't fully accepted the ending of something. And they may have still been in this space where they were really dwelling on it. Yeah, because maybe you viewed them as being more in an energy of actively healing, or like maybe you thought certain things were like maybe more in the past, and maybe certain things were chronologically more in the past, but wherever this person was at emotionally or whatever, it just feels like they weren't really in a place yet where, I don't know, it feels like in the past they weren't as far along as maybe you thought. Like, maybe, you know what I mean? Because what I'm getting is kind of a misconception coming through in regards to how you're viewing them, because it seems like you maybe viewed them as having been stable for a while in the 4 of Pentacles, but like underneath that stability was maybe like wounds that were still tender or healing from the past. But what I'm kind of getting is that I think they weren't even there yet. Like, I feel like they hadn't fully accepted maybe some of the difficult, like, they hadn't come to the 10 of Swords yet, because the 10 of Swords is where you kind of come to realize that a certain cycle is not savable. Like, you know, and maybe they were even preventing themselves from seeing that something was never going to get better. Like, I feel like this maybe was someone that held on to things, or maybe wanted to avoid seeing an inevitable truth about how painful something was, or how much of a hurt it truly was. And sometimes when we get hurt, there can be like a bargaining process with that, or like we may still want to think that what happened wasn't enough for us to need to move on. So I do feel like that was maybe a missing part of what was going on with this person. But I do feel like they would say that they have reached that place with the 3 of Swords to the 4 of Swords. And with the 9 of Pentacles even, I feel like there's a newfound independence where I feel like they maybe have learned to break out of some like codependency, or maybe their fear of leaving situations behind, especially if there's familiarity or investment in them already. Like, I almost feel like they maybe had a hard time even digging into their emotional truths, because there were these painful things that were muddling up their truth. Does that make sense? So it's almost like it can be hard to focus and see your emotional truth crystal clear if your emotions are still caught up in like a trauma, or, you know, you haven't gotten to a place where you're still in the process of grief. It is kind of what's coming through, is like they weren't at acceptance. it feels like they were even still a little bit in a bargaining stage, and maybe they've had to go through anger and other emotions that maybe they were kind of blocked from that. Because that's what I'm kind of seeing, is that this person was almost, I don't know, for some of you it's like they could have been blocked in time, where maybe certain things happened a long time ago, and maybe this person didn't realize to what degree they were still keeping those hurts alive by not leaving them behind, or by not making certain decisions for themselves. There's also this message coming through of like, for it's been such a long time for this person where they've actually felt like they've had the chance to get clarity of mind, like they've had the chance to reflect and let their mind rest and not be in this overwhelmed state of, like, the Nine of Swords is like a really rough position where it's pretty much torture. Like, the Four of Swords is such a polar opposite of that, where you are able to rest mentally and you can see things more clearly when you're in a more rested state, and you can kind of come to your own conclusions. The Nine of Swords is like the opposite of that, where you have so many thoughts and like so many things that you're actually, any truth that you're trying to find in that state, and like you're just going to be jumping to conclusions that are, you're going to get more confused. It's almost like this is a distorting energy, the Nine of Swords, where you might be thinking, you know, a lot with your mind and like trying to think about, like, I don't know, whatever. But you're not getting any clearer. You're actually kind of making things worse. Okay, the way I could describe this in very simple terms, and I'm sure you guys already get it, but it's like, imagine you have like something you're anxious coming, you have something that you have to do that you're anxious for. So, for example, like it's like you're anticipating something. So let's say you have to give like a presentation or something. This is just like back to like school days. I feel like if you're really, really anxious about it and you're like, oh my God, like I'm going to look so stupid in front of the class. Like, what if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? Like, no, I don't want to do that topic because blah, blah, blah. All these things could go wrong. And like, but you're kind of trying to prepare for it, and you're trying to like come up with an idea to resolve your tension. It's almost like through not thinking about it for a little and letting your mind rest, you can kind of see the situation more clearly, and it can be easier for you to just like pick a route or like pick a topic and, you know, go like, that's right. Does that make sense? Like the difference between those two states, where it's like you're going to do a lot more productive work in this energy, even though you might be more hyperactive in this one. I do want to clarify as well, why is the King of Swords here in reverse? I'm kind of getting a message coming through of where they want to tell you almost something that they've realized about themselves. And I feel that they have a approach to life, they're realizing, that it can be so overly analytical and so logical. Like they can really be overly strategic, overly analytical, overly logical, to the point where they are not able to, because their mind is so prominent like that, or so much in control, they didn't realize that that was such a lack of mental clarity. It's like, even though they were very mental and they had a lot going on mentally, they didn't have mental clarity. And I don't think that they realized that. And I feel like through getting more mental clarity, I feel like they're getting more emotional clarity. And maybe in the past, even they would try to, maybe they're like, they would feel anxious about their emotions, or like maybe they'd really question them a lot, or, you know, like maybe their emotions were something they felt like they had to figure out or do anything besides like process, essentially. You know, this is kind of giving that energy where there was a lack of surrender to, or even not even that, it's almost like there was a lack of space for enough calm in their mental sphere where they could even accurately see their emotions or feel them, essentially, because they were always distorted by all these shards of like thinking. And I'm seeing kind of like a broken mirror and like this, or like a broken lens, like this person was looking through. I do want to clarify the Three of Swords. Can we clarify the Three of Swords, please? Okay, well, what I am seeing here is like this state of the King of Swords in reverse and the Three of Swords versus the King of Cups and the Four of Swords. And what's interesting about both these cards to me is that the Three of Swords has the heart in there, which I feel like is connected to the water suit, so like the cups energy. And I feel like, yeah, this is just more of a representation of like, through getting to this state where they're able to be in a calm enough headspace where their emotions, it's like these two things can coexist essentially, in harmony. The Four of Swords and the King of Cups, this like an emotional knowing and like being kind of at peace with it. I feel like what life they were kind of living before was this one where everything was mixed up together, because I'm almost just seeing like, okay, I'm visually seeing it where this is where the swords are literally in through the heart, and it like hurts, and the heart is hurting, and it's kind of tangled and out of balance. And I feel like they would be in this state of like hurting in their heart, and then they would try to be logical to address this state of being, this painful state, not realizing that the Four of Swords was the remedy to the Three of Swords, not the King of Swords in reverse, not becoming more logical, not from always being afraid of love, or always feeling like they have to guard against love, or it's almost like they were working against themselves before, to come to see that there can be harmony between the two. But I just think it wasn't something that they had experienced before. And I just think they kind of want to tell you that. Yeah. Can we clarify the Magician in reverse? Interesting. We have the Four of Wands in reverse. I'm wondering if there were situations in their life too with the Five of Swords where maybe they didn't realize how their community or people around them, like this could be like family, friendships, maybe they didn't realize to what degree they were making this person feel less capable or feel disempowered. Like I feel like there's this energy of them wanting to say that they felt very disempowered. And they couldn't see that before. Like they couldn't really see what the source of that was. Cause yeah, I'm kind of seeing that maybe they feel like some people in their life weren't really supporting their expansion, or weren't really supporting this person from a place of their well-being. And I do feel like that's interesting, because I feel like you really were. I feel like you were someone that wanted to see this person be the best version of themselves that they can be. And also you wanted to see this person manifest and create their dreams, you know, and have the courage to do that. And I feel like that was something you really wanted for this person. And that was maybe a big part of like your nurturing energy toward them. And yeah, and there is a little bit of sadness maybe coming through here where they maybe weren't able to see that before. Maybe they weren't able to see you clearly, or see yeah, it's like they couldn't see these two energies very clearly. Maybe until this Nine of Pentacles energy has come up. Yeah. Okay. And there's almost this energy as well as like maybe them realizing that they are actually more of an emotional person than they thought they were. And maybe they felt like their emotional life had been somewhat shut off. But it's almost like they're realizing that they've been in this state for a really long time, and it's been more of like a survival mechanism, or like an identity that came from going through negative situations that kind of like guarded them. But I feel like their true self actually is someone that's more like a King of Cups, like someone who does feel things very deeply, who is actually sensitive emotionally. And I feel like you came through as that Queen of Cups, and that might have been a place where you guys connected, was emotionally. Even if they weren't always super open, it feels like either energetically or just on some level, it just feels like you understood this person emotionally, maybe in a way that they hadn't really ever experienced, or that, and it maybe it was like they didn't even have to share that much with you, but you could see under the surface, especially if you have water placements, like you were able to sense that. I feel like you were able to sense who they were maybe before they were even able to see it in themselves. I also am getting a vibe here, especially with the song I Die For You. I feel like they would want to say, I don't know the right words for this, but it's like, I don't know if they would want to say this, but this is what's coming through, is that they have like love for you. And I feel like it's because of the love you showed them, or yeah, like the Queen of Cups energy you were able to give them when they weren't even able to match that, or like they weren't in that place where they could give it back. But I feel like you were this nurturing person to them when they needed it most. And I think because of that, there's this feeling of like, I would do anything for you. Because now that I've kind of gotten to this place and I see things clearly, I'm like forever grateful. So this person is very, very grateful to you. And it's something that they were maybe only able to see later on. All right, let's get some oracle cards now. This person feels like you deserve, you know, exactly what you give, and that you deserve a lot in life. What would they want to tell pile number 1? Yeah, we have peace here in reverse. We have breathe. Yeah, so a lot of what's coming through is that I really do feel that the time where you guys were connecting, I think they really did not have very much peace in their life. They were lacking peace and calm. And I just feel like they were not able to be in the present moment. Or it's even possible that, like, because they had such a lack of peace, it's like, I just don't think they were able to see things clearly, is what I'm getting. And I feel that that's just kind of confirming this with the 9 of Swords and like the 4 of Swords, and how with Judgment in reverse, they had things in their life that were preventing them from, whether or not it's the things or not, it just feels like there's wounds inside of them, or just situations in their life that were causing them to be very imbalanced or not centered. What would they want to say? We have TikTok here. Yeah, we have To Be Fair, and then we have Orphan in reverse. Time to Go. I'm not surprised to see Time to Go here, because I do feel like there are situations they've realized they need to walk away from, that they needed to end. But yeah, I am getting here that I think what they would say is that they always hoped that they maybe feel like there was divine timing at play here. And I think this person, in due time, when they were able to get their life together, or themselves together, even like their mental space together, it feels like they want the opportunity to be fair to you, or always hope that would kind of, the opportunity would arise. But I do feel like with the Orphan card, and it could even be that like this is them just speaking to like the timing of how at the time in their life they were at, like there was a temporary storm going on in their life. But with Orphan in reverse here, I do feel like they were in this energy of not being able to be open. This is speaking to that 4 of Pentacles energy that you guys were sensing from them, where there's a feeling of feeling like intimacy is threatening, or feeling like all relationships are going to disappoint you, or, you know, you have to be super logical and not be vulnerable with people. And it's almost this energy of keeping themselves emotionally distant, or because of something they've been through, though. But I do feel like there's this recognition of what's balanced and fair. And they're almost saying because they were not in a balanced state themselves, yeah, like they couldn't really create that situation with you. And I feel like it was a mindset thing too, because for some reason I'm hearing, I do believe in fairies. I do. I don't know why I'm hearing that, but like this clock here is kind of taking me to, I don't know why Peter Pan is coming through now. Maybe it's like the lost boys or like the orphan boys. Oh, and Wendy kind of acts like a mother to them. I don't know. I don't know why some of that's coming through. But there could have been a dynamic where someone was more mature. Okay. Let me see. What else do I want to look at? Where is the other deck? Okay. But yeah, this can be an energy of feeling like you need to stay apart from other people because you feel threatened by the intimacy. Okay, what else would they say? What else do they want to say? Yeah, we have the sun here. So I do feel like this person has seen something, or there is clarity and illumination coming into their space, and more, it's like they're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, we have appreciation. I feel like this is speaking to the fact that they were maybe in a mindset that was pessimistic, or like they weren't seeing all the blessings around them or seeing the opportunities around them. But now there's this energy of like the light coming back. This could also speak to their mental health, but it's almost like they're able to see things more positively, and they're able to have more appreciation and gratitude for what they do have. And it's almost like when you don't have that, it's easy to further take things for granted or not see how certain things are supporting you or are helping you if you kind of are in this energy of like being cynical. So maybe this person was in a very like cynical energy, but I feel like now, yeah. And then I'm also just seeing the second chakra here, where I feel like this is something they're balancing out, where this is where you're able to express your desires and your emotions, and you're able to feel emotions. I feel like, yeah, this person could have been very depressed as well. What else would they say? Yeah, we have the temple path. So I feel like they'd want to say that they have turned things around, or like they maybe have been making their mental health, emotional health, spiritual health a bigger part of their life. And with the Eight of Cups here, with the temple path, I do feel like they've come, they're in this energy of knowing where they're headed now, or no longer putting their energy toward a path that isn't leading them to their fulfillment. With like the Nine of Cups, it's like, yeah, there's this energy here of maybe even having more appreciation for, yeah, like spiritual things or emotional things, or things that aren't just scarcity or materialistic, like things that are just like scarcity based. Like maybe this person was very focused on that, or maybe very focused on that being, maybe they were, yeah, it's almost like they might have been so focused on the lack of where they were at with that, or yeah, that they weren't able to see what they do have in front of them. Because I do feel like with the Magician in reverse here, it's like the Magician upright is an energy where, although you haven't already built up, like the Emperor can be an energy where you've already like built yourself up, or you've built up a situation. The Magician is just one step away from the Fool, where you don't really have anything made yet, but you recognize that you have the tools in front of you to use to create, essentially. So I just feel like they're starting to see more, that there is more around them. Does that make sense? It's almost like they're able to see abundance where before they saw lack, or they're able to see opportunity or before they saw like before they saw it as all of like the limiting beliefs or all the limiting thoughts, everything that would be like scarcity related. So, you know, like let's say that there's like someone, I don't know, like maybe an opportunity like with a relationship with you. But in the past, they might have been like, no, I can't have that. I can't open up to that because this, that reason, that reason, that reason. Instead of, and like, or it could even be that they look at their life and they're like, this is wrong, that's wrong, you know, like all these things. And I just think there's a lot here around a mindset shift, and how their mindset shift is something that's changing like their life trajectory. That's what they'd want to tell you about as well. Yeah, we have attachment in reverse. Yeah, we have strategy here too. So yeah, I do feel like with attachment, I do feel like they have been releasing maybe attachment to certain rigid ideas. Anything that was blocking them from their spiritual path is what I'm getting. So this could be relationships that they thought they needed to be happy. It just feels like all of these, it's kind of what I was saying is like, when we are living in this attachment energy, we feel like in order to be happy or in order to XYZ, we need it to be in that form, or we need these set of things to be true. And it's kind of like our own brain, you know, deciding what form things need to come in for them to make us happy. And once you kind of drop your attachment to the way you think things need to go, or the way that, you know, if it doesn't look like this, I'm not happy with it. Does that make sense? Or it's like, if in your head, you've always felt like you need to be a certain like goal weight or something, or you're not attractive, you know, something like that. Or I need to have this much money. I need to have a house. I need to have all these things, you know, or the relationship with this specific person is going to be what makes me happy. And I'm not happy because of not having that. It's like letting go of those kinds of beliefs and realizing that, it's much better to just have a strategy, but not having attachments. Like you can still have a strategy and like a way that you are striving towards your goals without needing them to be a certain way. So these are kind of the realizations that they're having. So that's what I'm getting for you guys. I do want to see, so I'm going to take into the extended. I want to see what this person's desires are towards you, what their intentions are, and if they're planning to take action towards you, along with where this connection is potentially headed, depending on how those questions are answered. So I'll also get you guidance in that as well. But for now, let me just finish off the reading with a couple of these surrender cards. Also, if you're here, if you're able to hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed before you leave. I really do appreciate those things. And if you want to tell me how it resonated down below, I love to hear that. So what messages, what can pile number 1 surrender when it comes to this connection? What is most helpful for them to hear? We have surrender to prayer. Give yourself over completely to prayer. When you pray from your heart, you will be heard through the universe and answers and support will arrive. Surrender to miracles. Wow, this is beautiful. Be open to miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that these events are real. Let go of any resistance and banish any doubt that miracles can happen. Like, I don't know, maybe some of you guys have really given up on this person, or maybe felt like your prayers about this person were going to go unanswered, especially if you've like prayed for clarity or prayed for this person, or I don't know, just really look to God for answers, or spirit, or whatever, the universe. But maybe you've started to feel like this is a lost cause, or, you know, there wasn't really anything special about this. Like, I do feel like there's an energy coming through of like, don't give up. I'm hearing it's darkest before the dawn, or I don't know. And there's a lot of water here. Okay, we have surrender negative thinking. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. Yeah, so some of you guys maybe have kind of become more pessimistic about this person, or maybe there's a party that's thinking like this person's never going to come back, this person's never going to change. you know, this was all for nothing. I feel like Spirit's saying that to not give in to that. There's kind of like a universe feeling here of don't like never doubt the powers of the universe. Like that's kind of what I'm getting. Can we get one more for pile number 1, please? We have surrender fear, let go of fearful stories. Let go of the fearful stories you are telling yourself. Stay in the moment, focus on solutions, and celebrate every baby step forward. I feel like this is like message. I feel like this is kind of like your person too. Like I feel like this would be good guidance to your person, all these, but surrender to silence. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within you. Silence can heal and replenish you. And then surrender your attachment to results. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the result. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it, which is also similar to the attachment in reverse. But also if maybe there was a part of you that maybe even felt like the silence or the lack of progress on the external meant maybe nothing was changing internally or there was nothing going on. But yeah, I almost feel like Spirit's saying maybe this is a situation where, yeah, surrender to success. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of getting a wink from Spirit that, you know, don't be attached to something very specific, but I don't think things are as hopeless as maybe you felt about this, or maybe you felt like you failed or like you've given everything or like, you know, it was all for nothing or something like that. I don't know. I just feel like Spirit's saying that, you know, those are negative thoughts that aren't necessarily true. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys. I'm going to take into the extended, so I will see some of you there. I'll have it linked in the description box. You can go through Vimeo or Gumroad, whatever works better for you. My personal readings are open as well. I'll have those also linked in the description box. So yeah, thank you for being here. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments, and I hope to connect with you again soon. Hello, pal number 2. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the Neopets Tarot and this amethyst point, this is going to be your reading where we're going to be looking at seeing who is currently wanting to talk to you. So who has a message for you? We're going to start off by seeing who this person is from your perspective. So this will serve as an energy check-in and also help you identify who the message is about to be from. So Spirit, please tune me into pile number 2's energy. Who is in pile number 2's energy field that is wanting to speak to them, wanting to tell them something? How does pile number 2 view this person subjectively? Who is this person to pile number 2? How would they describe this person, their experience? Okay, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Just want to make sure we're in a good spot. How would pile number 2 describe this person? We have the 8 of Swords in reverse. Okay, we have the King of Pentacles in reverse. And I'm going to lay these out. So we have the Page of Swords and the 7 of Cups. Interesting. Okay, can we clarify the Queen of Pentacles? The Fool in reverse. Aquarius energy. Can we clarify the 8 of Swords in reverse? We have Justice, Libra coming through. Can we clarify the King of Pentacles in reverse? We have the 5 of Wands. This is interesting. What I'm kind of starting to get here is this could have been like an ex or someone that you were in a relationship with. This is randomly coming through as well, but if not that, maybe it was a work situation, but yeah, for a lot of you it might be a relationship, especially with justice here. And I feel like, yeah, I don't know. It feels like this may be someone that you felt was a match for you. But with the King of Pentacles coming through in reverse here, I am getting a little bit of a possessiveness or a controlling energy here where, I don't know, it's kind of like using the Pentacle suit or commitment, almost wanting commitment or wanting a position like that. Like, I'm almost getting this person being like wanting to be the boss, wanting to be the husband, wanting to be the boyfriend. But it's coming through where they seem, yeah, they just seem very possessive, or like they want, I that's what I keep getting. Even if they weren't overtly like that. But let me just clear or finish out the spread and then we'll get more into it. How does pile number 2 view this person? Okay, we have the 3 of Cups, the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, you know what though? For a lot of you, it's also possible that maybe this is someone that fronts almost like they want something serious, or like they want to be a King of Pentacles, but I wonder if they kind of use that as like a strategy in love, or like a strategy in the mating field is what I'm almost getting. It could even be this is someone who, I'm just getting someone that maybe likes to have a lot of options. But there's this energy of also giving those options maybe an indication that it's almost like this is someone that gives favoritism to a lot of people almost to keep their options open. And I'm kind of getting a vibe where there maybe was a lot of competition here. And I feel like maybe this situation prevented you from exploring your other options or jumping towards something new. Like, this could even be someone that doesn't want their people to move on from them, or doesn't want like their love interests to look elsewhere. But meanwhile, it feels like this person is looking at their options and keeping their options open. But it's kind of like this greedy thing. It's coming through like greed, where it's not enough. Like, you're trying to like hoard all of your options, or like people, or you're seeing people as like almost objectifying them a little bit, because you're not, it's like this person wasn't thinking about what's best for their options, or what's best for, you know, maybe even you. It's like they're more thinking about it from that kind of greedy perspective. Yeah, that perspective that's almost like, I don't know, like these are mine, like these are my ornaments almost. And yeah, because I'm just getting like maybe this is someone that had other people around them, or like maybe caused people to compete for them, likes people to compete for them, likes to feel like, creates third party situations. Yeah, because with the 8 of Swords in reverse, it's making me feel like, I don't know, like maybe you had to get yourself free from the situation, because it could be that this person has a way of trying to hold on to people, or trying to give them the impression that, this feels like someone that might say the same thing to 2 people, you know, but almost as a way to keep, if, for example, like in Love is Blind, if any of you guys watch Love is Blind, I'm thinking about like the type of guy that starts to come off as insincere, or you start to question their genuineness, because they are almost playing it like a game, and they're trying to keep their options, and they're also saying maybe like, I love you to both people, or they're saying like, you're my number one, or kind of not telling them their true standing in their eyes, and they're also like not committing to one person, and it's like they'll have a favorite maybe, but then they don't let go of their other options, or they don't allow their other options or like their second choice to know that they're the second choice, because they don't want to lose the second choice just in case they might want that. Does that make sense? So I'm kind of getting like a vibe like that from this person. Yeah, and maybe you feel like breaking away from this person and kind of seeing through this was your justice, or like you maybe had to bring yourself justice in the situation, because with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like you started to realize that this wasn't a good investment, or like this wasn't someone where it was actually building toward anything. And maybe you tried to be patient with them, but you maybe just realized that this isn't a good use of your energy, because this person is diffused in what their focus is on. Yeah, so I feel like this is someone you may be determined as not being worth it, or not being something you can build something solid with, especially with this Queen of Pentacles coming through. Because the Queen of Pentacles has a certain value to her, and a level of groundedness, and a level of serious, practical desires in relationships, and wanting something balanced. And if the Queen of Pentacles isn't gonna want someone that isn't a King of Pentacles, you know, or at least, yeah, in their positive energy. And this could have even been someone that you did originally think was the King of Pentacles, because they might have given you that impression. It's kind of giving me that Love is Blind energy too, where it's like you're kind of just getting this impression of someone, and it's like almost like when you start to go into the real world, you start to see different things about that person. But maybe in the beginning they were very good at like saying like, these are my values and this is what I want. I'm looking for this kind of relationship. And they can really speak in a way that makes it seem like they're like mirroring you, or they want something similar. But I feel that you maybe didn't see how much this is like giving wandering eye, or giving like, I am not just focused on one person. And even with the Fool here in reverse, I do wonder if maybe you feel like you maybe took a leap of faith here without really seeing all the information in front of you, or maybe you feel like you should have gotten more information about this person before investing your time and energy into them, similar to the Love is Blind concept. Because I feel like that's just coming through channeled, where it's like they kind of take that leap of faith. And yeah, it's actually kind of similar here, because with the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like a lot of the people that go on Love is, well, a lot of them actually, because the point is marriage. And, you know, of course, people just go on for different reasons, and fame and, you know, whatever, exposure. But like the premise is meant to attract both men and women that are looking for marriage, and are in like a place in their life where they're ready to build something solid, and they're ready for like wife. They're ready to be husband and wife. They're in that position in their life, and it's made clear that that's what they're looking for. So it's kind of implied. And so I do feel like this could have been someone that you definitely made clear that you would want something like marriage, or something balanced, or at least like you want that you are very relationship minded, and you're ready to be a partner to someone. And I feel like you thought maybe this person was too. But yeah, I do feel like it's possible with the Page of Swords here. It's like maybe the more you looked into this person, the more you realized that there was illusion here with the Seven of Cups, or that you didn't really know what you were looking at. Because the Seven of Cups can be a card of like, yeah, like illusion and mystery, or like can be a haze or a mist. And it's like all of the cups actually have something different in them, but you don't really know what's behind every cup. And so yeah, I do feel like this may be someone that you've kind of like, the more you study them, or the more you learn about them with the Page of Swords, the more you might even see maybe that you guys don't align with the Five of Wands. You might see that you guys have different values, or there's actually a lot more conflict here than you originally thought. Yeah, I feel like you kind of see this as like a failed investment, like maybe someone that you thought there was a chance with, but kind of was a waste of your time, or yeah, it just wasn't gonna grow in the direction that you wanted. That's what I'm getting. All right, what does this person want to say to pile number 2? Why is this person coming through? What are they wanting to say to pile number 2? Okay, we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Tower in reverse. What does this person want to say to pile number 2? The Six of Wands in reverse, the Ten of Cups in reverse. The Page of Swords. The King of Cups in reverse. A message I'm almost getting here is like, it's almost confusing me that there's all of these cards coming out. So I'm obviously just asking for one card. And so there is this vibe of this person coming through where it's almost like, I just feel like it's maybe hard to see the truth of this person because it's like they're not being clear. It's like, I don't know. It's almost like they might, I don't know the right words for this, but it's almost like when you throw a lot of information at someone, it might kind of bypass them, or it might kind of make them not see straight through to the truth. So it's almost like I feel like this person kind of has that way of preventing a person from cutting through all of the unimportant details of something, because that's like what the sword suit is about. It's like the need to kind of get to the point and cut through the unimportant details. Like I feel like this is someone who might throw in a bunch of unimportant details that can kind of camouflage what the point is anyways. So it's just kind of getting confusing already, the spread is. Okay. I see I usually do 4 cards, but I just feel like it's less is more with this person. I'm going to create space so I can like see them. Okay. What would they want to say to pile number 2? The Seven of Pentacles. Again, every card is coming out in 2. So 7 of Pentacles with the 4 of Cups in reverse. Can we clarify the 6 of Wands? The 9 of Wands. Can we clarify the Page of Swords in reverse and the King of Cups? Yeah, okay. We have the World in reverse here too. So this is interesting. The energy I'm getting, I'm going to kind of figure out what their angle is here, but I do feel like this feels like someone that maybe is trying to come back to you and after something hasn't worked out for them. Because I feel like the World in reverse, there's kind of a vibe of like things not going the way that they wanted, or feeling incomplete, or feeling like, I think negative things have been happening in this person's life. Like we have the Tower in reverse, the 6 of Wands in reverse, where I'm almost even wondering if I feel like something has backfired on them, or it's almost like something has humbled them and now they're looking back at you with maybe feeling like I should have done something different, but it's only in hindsight. It's only when something didn't work out or when they're in this vulnerable position, because the 9 of Wands in reverse, the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, that's giving a very worn down energy. It's giving, just look at this 5 of Pentacles. Look at all the sweating and the having to work hard, or feeling like life has been challenging or like an obstacle for this person. That's how I feel their life has been. And I feel like, yeah, so what I'm kind of getting is I feel like what they would say is that maybe something that they chose over you, or it's even like the path of maybe chasing illusions, or it feels like they bypassed, or they didn't do things the right way. So like with the Ace of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles, I feel like that is what you are offering them, and that was the opportunity they had with you, was just the Ace of Pentacles. It's a seed, but it has the potential to grow into the Ten of Pentacles, and it requires patience and diligence and watering things slowly and letting something grow the right way. And I feel like coming off of a Tower in reverse, it's like I feel like the way that this person had been building things in their life is not this way, is not the Ace of Pentacles, not the Seven of Pentacles. And so what they're always building seems to be a House of Cards. And so I feel like this person's House of Cards has fallen. And there's this energy of, with the Four of Cups in reverse, feeling like, why wasn't I interested in this before? Or I regret not, or not even I regret, it's that now that I'm in this position where my situation has fallen apart, or I'm not feeling good about myself, I've had an ego death, or not even an ego death, I feel like they've been humbled. And so maybe when they felt like they were in this position where they had all these options, or, you know, they were in this, I don't know, this, whatever, King of Pentacles in reverse, where they just felt like they had the upper hand, or they felt like they could afford to, I don't know, like play chess or really look at their options, like instead of being grateful for an opportunity and feeling like they need to just work towards that. There's kind of this vibe of just that King of Pentacles in reverse. It's almost like being so greedy that you lose everything, or it all backfires on you, and then you regret not just cherishing the one, like the thing that was real. Instead, I feel like they maybe got swept away by appearances, or even their own ego of like, what else can I control, or what other options can I get? And instead of appreciating what's around them, maybe they let it go to their head, or like, I just feel like this person had an ego before. And I'm getting now with the Nine of Wands in reverse, I just feel like they're in this position where they're really being forced to see that they can't keep the act up, or they can't, there's this energy of being very paranoid, or feeling like people have turned against them, or I feel like maybe they've done something, or maybe their reputation has taken a hit, or people have kind of stopped. It just feels like there was a big fall, or like, I feel like this person was very much on their high horse, and eventually it's caught up to them. I feel like I need to get a very specific definition right now. 1 second. Okay, so I just want to read you some of, this is really confirming what I was getting, especially with the Six of Wands in reverse, Ten of Cups in reverse, Nine of Wands in reverse. But overall, before I get into that, I just want to say that this is feeling like a situation where they went down a certain, maybe they had an opportunity with you, but they were also looking for, like, the grass is greener on the other side, or they liked you, but they were almost like, well, can I do better? Kind of like that. And I feel like they may have decided that someone or some other opportunity was better, but I feel like it's come crashing down. And I feel like it was more of an illusion, like something that maybe seemed like the creme de la creme, or the best of the best, or like, it's like this person was living in a fantasy. And I feel like that's kind of a theme of like what I'm getting between the two of you, is that this person was very prone to fantasy and like projecting out what relationships could be, or like what I feel like they see things in a very idealized way. And so this is the kind of person who could easily overlook something that is really sturdy or like strong, and it's like they might not it's kind of, what is this? It's kind of like, because it's not flashy and quick or as exciting, it's like devalued, but that is the thing that would have won the race. So it's kind of like the tortoise and the hare vibe. Because, okay, just saying, just some of the definitions that I wanted to look at for the Six of Wands, especially in context of love. It's saying it never would have lasted. It was too good to be true. So coming down to earth with a bang, failure of a relationship. I'm really getting that. A relationship that peaks too soon, disillusionment, broken promises, fall from grace or off the pedestal, celebrity relationships, short-lived, losing the connection. No, this looks so promising, what happened? And so I do feel like that's, with the 10 of Cups on top, totally the vibe I'm getting. Like, it was this tower that they had built up. Yeah. Okay. And I just want to see what else it says for the 9 of Wands in reverse. Hanging on to the bitter end, refusal to end a particular cycle in a relationship or relationship in general, lack of introspection and retrospection, loneliness within your relationship, mounting paranoia about your partner, becoming overly obsessed and watchful, lack of trust, restriction and control may become an issue, feeling wounded and in need of constant reassurance, repetitive negative patterns in your relationships, not learning from your past mistakes, refusing to accept responsibility for the share of your relationship failure, using your partner as a crutch or vice versa, a relationship that's going under. Okay, yeah. So I'm getting a couple of themes coming through, especially with the World in reverse. I do feel like this is someone who maybe makes the same mistake over and over, or they have this habit of chasing after a relationship, but never looking at why. It's like this person lacks introspection into seeing how they keep setting themselves up for the same situation to happen. And I do feel like this person is, it's hard for me to even say what they would want to say to you here, because I need to read their energy first and then I'll see what they kind of want to say. But I feel like they are very disillusioned right now and very paranoid and in this position where they have the lower position right now. Does that make sense? So I feel like in the past they felt like they had the upper hand, or it was maybe illusionary, but it's like, I feel like they've gone through certain experiences now that have shaken them or made them feel very like, I don't know who to trust, or I don't know if I can trust myself. I don't know if I can trust other people. Like, this is someone who's feeling like paranoid, and it's like they're not seeing things very clearly right now. They're not really seeing, they're like confused why they're here again. But I do feel like there's this energy of maybe wanting to come to you for help in some way, or it's like now that they're in this down and out position and they've been humbled, they're now wanting to approach you and maybe say that they just want someone they can trust. They just want something reliable. They just want everything that you were offering them before that they didn't appreciate, essentially, but they wouldn't say it like that. I feel like they maybe feel a little bit victimized by what's gone on, or like they couldn't have known or something like that. I feel like this person is hoping that you still have like a soft spot for them, and that they haven't like burned the bridge with you. That's what I'm kind of getting. It's like they're almost wanting to circle back to see if there's still an opportunity with you, and before they crash and burn completely, because I just feel like this person is reaching, I feel like they're maybe even fighting with facing the inner work they need to do right now. I feel like they really need to go within and see what their role is in these relationships, because there's almost this vibe of this person acting in this greedy way, or acting in this wandering eye, or like always kind of wanting what's better and not seeing the folly of that, and then maybe getting like putting their trust into a situation where maybe they get screwed over, or like that person leaves them, or they weren't who they thought they were, and then maybe they feel paranoid and like victimized or something like that, and like almost like it's unfair or something. But it's like, look at what you keep doing. Look at how that's kind of your karma here. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's a little bit delusional, them wanting to come back to you. Because it feels like them coming back to you doesn't feel like they want to say, I was such a fool. Like, I really regret it. Like, I was in this immature phase of my life where I like couldn't see what I had. And it's almost like now that they've ran through their options and they're in this down, like in this place that is unfortunate, it's almost like they want to come to you and go, well, maybe I should give that a chance. And it's like kind of the audacity. It's kind of annoying. I'm not going to lie. This person's vibe is annoying me because it's like, what makes you, it's like, even in this state where this person has just been humbled and had like a reality check and all of that, it's like they've been unsuccessful. They're still not seeing that they are not the best of the best. They're still not seeing, it's almost like they're still not considering that they are maybe not a good option for other people or not to you anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, oh, well, pile number 2 really liked me before, and like, you know, I kind of overlooked them. I I bet they, not even I bet, it's kind of this vibe of delusion where they want to stay in this delusional headspace where they it's pretty annoying. It's a little entitled where it's like this person really needs to have a reality check. This person's in dire need of a reality check. They need to actually humble themselves and see that by seeing themselves in this inflated way, like, that is exactly what has been causing their problems, because it's like they don't recognize the value of other people, and they don't recognize that they're not this, like, it just feels like they had all this, like, they had a really inflated ego, and that really allowed them to treat people like that, where, you know, they just are looking out for what's best for them, and like they feel like they have the pick of, they feel like they should have the best, and if they should be looking at all of their options, and that's like kind of their right. Like, they feel entitled to do that. And now that they're in this like almost like fallen king energy is what I'd want to say, they're they're still hoping that maybe you can revive some level of their previous ego. Does that make sense? Like, where it's almost like they are hoping that you will be the one to still see them as in the light that you saw them before. And I think that just shows maybe to what degree they didn't realize the way they behaved really tainted how you view them. They haven't seemed to understand that. I feel like in their mind, it's almost like this feeling of like seeing themselves as like the popular person or something. And like, anyone would be lucky to be with me. Like, everyone wants me. Yeah, it just feels like there's a lot of ego issues with them. Okay. So yeah, so I guess what they'd want to say to you is, I've been treated unfairly, and like I feel like they almost feel like people are out to get them, or with the Page of Swords in reverse, like I didn't see it coming, or like I didn't notice red flags. I feel like they'd want to tell you about some other situation, like I didn't see any of the red flags. Maybe they'd even want to say they feel like they were emotionally manipulated, or maybe their own feelings clouded their ability to see red flags. But again, I'm like, why is this your problem? Like, why would this person think that you are the person that they should come to? And it's kind of that vibe of wanting to kind of use people a little bit. Like, this feels like a little bit like a user, in a sense, where they feel like because you had a crush on them or you had interest in them, that you're like this option. It's like you'll want to hear from them. Or even if, does that make sense? Like, they're not even thinking about what you would want and how your time deserves to be used. It's almost like, oh, I know this person has a thing for me. Like, let me see if they will kind of, you know, validate my ego right now. And yeah, it's like they want to come in and be nurtured by you. It's like they want you to bring them in from the cold and almost like a mother to them, you know, and tell them that that's so horrible, like how they're in this situation and they didn't deserve that. And I'm finally happy that you came back to me or something. Like, it's almost like that's the vibe that I'm getting, which is crazy. Maybe that, no, I'm not getting that. Yeah, like you've been patiently waiting for them or something. Yeah, look at this. It's almost like that. It's like they're coming to you almost hoping like you've put your life on hold, being patient for them. And maybe they even feel like, you know, like, I don't know. I feel like there's this energy of maybe hoping that you haven't let go of them, or like you guys still have unfinished business. Like, I feel like that's what they're kind of coming to, like we have unfinished business. Yeah. Okay. Let me get some oracle cards now. What would they want to say to pile number 2? Okay, we have peace. We have a leg up. Milk and honey in reverse. Yeah. Unfinished symphony. Yeah. They want to come to you and be like, I feel like we have unfinished business, or, you know, I've always been wanting to like come back to you, or, but it's like they're really coming back for a leg up. Like they want support from you. And I feel like with this milk and honey here, it's like they want the sweetness from you that they don't really deserve. It's like they kind of want a shortcut to feeling like nurtured again, or having some level of sweetness, or having some level of reward. And it's like they want you to help them, bring them peace or tranquility. But I feel like it's coming through the lens of like, we have unfinished business, or I've always wanted to say this to you. Like they might want to come to you like that. Like, I've never let go of this. And, yeah, like it took me a second to realize this, but yeah. Yeah, it could even be that they want to say that they realize that they went in for this illusionary milk and honey, where like maybe they keep rushing towards situations. Let me read. I just want to see the exact definition. I'm hearing this song that's like sugar on my tongue. It says a nameless unease compels you to turn pleasure and comfort as a means to escape what's really going on. Yeah, I feel like that's like what they're trying to do with you. I feel like they're turning to try to get comfort from you or happiness from you. It says it works in the moment, but only fleetingly before the feelings return and you need to re-up until you're exhausted, feeling worse than before, you continue struggling. Yeah. It's like they need to nourish themselves right now. Yeah, because it's like they're looking at you as someone that has a soft spot for them, and it feels like they want to kind of pull on that or like push on that. Okay. What other cards do I want to get? Where's my other deck? Right here. It's like they're weathered now. Okay, what would they want to say? We have the World in reverse. We have contract, anxiety, the 7th chakra in reverse, The thinking man in reverse. I feel like this person feels like they are running out of options. Like that's the feeling that they're having. I don't feel like they would openly say that, but I can just tell it's almost not as important what this person wants to say, but it's like they are really lacking perspective right now. And I feel like they're acting out of a place of fear and scarcity. And I feel like they maybe see like a potential relationship with you or a commitment with you as like something that like it's almost like they feel like, oh, that's what I need to, like that's the only option for me, or like I don't have as many other options, so like this is what I need now, and I'm getting anxious that this person really lacks a spiritual connection, or it's like they lack, it's coming through. Like this is someone who really defines themselves in the world, or like their sense of self, their self-esteem, their sense of self-love is really propped up by the external world. And like when and so that's what it's like. And so when that comes crashing down, they feel like they're nothing, or they have nothing, or you know, it's literally like I don't know, they're just coming from this very scarcity minded place where they're not seeing the bigger picture, and they just want relief. They just want to feel taken care of, or like they now want security in some sense. Like they want, I want to clarify. I think that's the Ace of Pentacles here with the contract. Can we clarify the contract? Look at this. The King of Pentacles again in reverse. I feel like they like to feel, again, in control or something like that. Maybe they didn't get something they were expecting. Oh, this is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, not the King. Overall, though, I am getting this energy of like, maybe this person, I don't know why they'd want to say this, though. I don't get why they want to say this, but there is this energy coming through from them where like they're afraid of commitment because they're afraid of boredom. It's almost like this is someone that's afraid of getting bored in a relationship. And I feel like that's why they might avoid commitment or consistency in a relationship, because it's almost like they maybe see that as, they see like commitment and obligations to a person as something that limits their options in the world. Okay, but like, why are they saying that? The King of Wands. Magician in reverse. Maybe they want to like explain themselves, but this is giving like you're not making it any better. Like you just sound even more selfish and stupid. Like that's what I'm kind of getting, is like maybe they want you to understand like where they were coming from in the past. There's this energy of them feeling like they're like the King of Wands, or they are this attractive leader that's powerful and charismatic, when I feel like what they really are, though, is this inconsistent person that's kind of selfish and doesn't think about other people's lives and doesn't care about what other people want. They just care about themselves. Why would they be delusional enough to try to say something about that? The Knight of Swords. I feel like this person doesn't really question themselves. Like they just feel so right. I just don't think they really feel like they need to question themselves. Why? The Five of Cups in reverse. I feel like this person is running away from feeling regret, feeling remorse, recognizing that they've lost things, that they kind of have an empty life right now. Okay. I just am still like, what is this person even doing? Like, this person might be really delusional or really, they might have some sort of personality disorder or something. What is it? Can you clarify this energy, Spirit? Yeah, life is speeding up. Transformation is beautiful. Watch and wait. Let Spirit be your guide. The miracles are endless. Okay, so I feel like this is someone who has a really hard time seeing when they are wrong, or seeing, I feel like all that's going on in this person's life is they're really being forced to change or recognize that things need to change in their life, and maybe that they do need to slow down. Because there's kind of this overconfidence or this entitlement to, I don't know, it's like playing God, or just this person really has an inflated ego. I want to, this one I feel like has a very specific message. Yeah, it says, are you holding on to judgment, sure that your perspective is the only correct way to look at things? There are as many perspectives as there are creatures in the sea, and when the seahorse spirit appears, you're reminded to detach from the experience so you can view it from more than one angle. Pay attention to your hidden beliefs and how they affect the way you feel, think, and act. Are you being fair to all involved, or do you need to step back? Perhaps the drama you've been drawn into is your own. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Is like, I feel like this person is not seeing how they're creating their own chaos by their very limited perspective. Yeah. Okay, I just want to see, let Spirit be your guide. Yeah, I feel like this is the vibe. Like, this is someone that, because they're so overly confident in themselves and they just think that they're so smart, and like that, I don't know, like they feel like they're like God's favorite or something. But I feel like they're reaching this point in their life where they're being forced to see how their perspective is the issue and how they are missing red flags, because this is what it's about. And I was getting that their lack of emotional understanding of themselves and others causes them to not see red flags. So are you noticing red flags, perhaps saying to yourself, oh, what pretty red flags, and giving them no more thought? Hawk Spirit has arrived to tell you to stop and listen to the messages from Spirit. Take the time to observe the patterns you are seeing and do not dismiss your intuition, even if the messages you receive are not supported by evidence in the physical world. Yeah, it says sometimes you might want certain signs and messages to mean what you want them to mean, interpreting them through the lens of wishful thinking or a projection of your desire to see things a certain way. Of course, when you do that, you rarely find yourself where you want to be, literally. Yeah, check your motives and where you're being selective with your hearing. That's what I'm getting with the delusionalness, is like, why it's almost like this person's lack of perspective, and being sure that they're right, being sure that they have some sort of superior perspective, and feeling like they don't need to take the time to really get to know other people. I feel like this person relates to others without actually really getting to know them and putting themselves in someone else's shoes. Like, this is someone that doesn't come to relationships to kind of, you know, for a truly loving purpose, where, and this is what I was getting before, and I feel like you already know this, because it's like this, there's a superficiality and a hollowness to the way this person connects, and that's becoming their own downfall right now, essentially, is that they might think they have all these good options, but it's because they're not really even vetting the options. They're only seeing them through their lens and the way they see the world. So it's like, this sets this person up for failure, because imagine that this person is like, oh, this option is the best option for me, like, and it's like for these dumb reasons, or this through their lens is like, this person has like this job, or they're this attractive. This is what I can get from that. You know, they're like a good trophy on my arm. And it's kind of like, because they're never taking the time to think about what other people's motivations might be, then they don't realize like what's going on. This is a shallow person. And I think life is really checking them. And I think them coming back to you or even wanting to talk to you is another miscalculation. It's giving out of touch. It's giving this is almost making it more clear to what degree this person never really saw you for you and never really understood your perspective, because you'd have to be delusional. You'd have to truly be like out of touch. Like this is someone that's super, super out of touch. So wow, I don't know what else to say besides this is kind of like a person that I feel like literally cannot fathom why certain things happen to them. But if they took 2 seconds to look at things from other people's perspectives, like it would become so obvious, like what they're doing or like why they're going wrong. And yeah, this is kind of like the a-hole that feels bad for themselves when their own selfishness and shallowness gets them in a negative situation. It's like, and then they want to come and look for help because they feel bad for themselves, or they feel like if something went wrong, it must mean that they were victimized. And it's like, no. Oh gosh, this is kind of like a helpless person, or like someone that it would be hard to help this person. This is the kind of person that wouldn't want you to tell them the truth or get them to see the errors of their ways. This is someone that wants people around them that tell them what they want to hear. Like that's what they kind of want right now from you. And that's why they want to talk to you. So do with that what you want. I am going to do an extended reading. I'm trying to even imagine like what could be helpful for you, but if you're curious about exploring this person's psyche more, it might be interesting to see what delusional lens they're looking through. It might be interesting to see what they're hoping to get from you, or like what do they want out of the connection with you. We can look in that deeper. And then I just want to get a lot of guidance for you about, you know, anything you need to know about this person that you hasn't already been clear. Anything you need to do, or any just guidance to protect yourself, or just what's in your best interest for this situation. Yeah, so we can kind of just unpack this further and see where this person's being delusional, what they're wanting from you, and how to best handle it. That's going to be the extended. So I'll have that link down below. If you guys found this helpful, if you're able to hit the like button and subscribe before you head out, I would love to have you on the channel. And if you want to leave a comment and let me know any details about this or how this resonated, I really appreciate that as well. But other than that, I'll have the extended linked through Vimeo and Gumroad in the description box if you guys do want to join me there. And other than that, I hope to connect with you again soon. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the Mystic Mondays Tarot and the Rose Quartz Raw Crystal, this is going to be your reading where we're going to be looking at who is currently thinking about wanting to talk to you. Someone that has been wanting to maybe come forward and say something. So they are going to have a message for you, and we're going to be looking at who this person is first, and then why they're wanting to talk to you or what they would want to say. So we are going to start off with looking at how you view this person. And that's meant to help you identify who this person is, so you know who it is, or you can kind of decide if it's a person you want to hear a message from even. So Spirit, please tune me in to pile number 3. Please allow me to get honest and concise answers for the highest good of all. Please allow me to tune into the person that is most strongly coming through in pile number 3's energy field. is wanting to talk to pile number 3, or who has a message for pile number 3? How does pile number 3 view this person? How will pile number 3 know who this is? We have the sun in reverse. Leo coming through with the sun. How will pile number 3, or how does pile number 3 view this person? With the 3 of Cups. Also the 3 of Swords here in reverse. There's already messages coming through here, but no, even with the 6 of Cups here, I'm wondering, it could be reversed here, but I'm getting already the vibe of this person maybe being someone you view as maybe helping you have fun again after maybe a more dark time period, or maybe where you were healing from something, or it's like this person maybe helped you heal. And with the 6 of Cups here, like that also has the same vibe of innocence, of like childhood and playfulness, and before things were complicated, or before we've been, you know, hurt almost, and returning to that original place. And with the sun in reverse, it's almost like this can sometimes represent depression. So yeah, maybe you can reverse it either way. So I feel like it's possible that I'm going to get more context so we can see if it's reversed, because it's possible that this person maybe was healing or like coming out of a darker time period where they're like, yeah, either one of you seem to have been experiencing a lack of optimism, struggling to see the fun in life, or even to have fun or like enjoy activities. And that's kind of coming through again with like depression symptoms of how it can make it really hard to, like, you might do things that you used to feel like were fun and they're just not fun anymore. It feels like there's some sort of connection here that brings that out even when someone is in depression or has been. Okay, how does pile number 3 view this person? We have the 10 of Cups in reverse. The Emperor in reverse. Yeah, it might have actually been this person that was struggling with depression, because I feel like, for me, the 10 of Cups in reverse oftentimes represents almost not believing anymore in happily ever after, or yeah, it's almost like, you know, especially like when we're younger and we imagine almost like a fairy tale ending in our life. And obviously that shifts, and like the 10 of Cups is a true energy, but I almost feel like maybe you view this as someone that was disillusioned or is struggling to be optimistic, or kind of believe that to be empowered to follow a vision that makes them really happy, or makes like a person happy. Because that's what the 10 of Cups is it can really, it's like a vision, and it can propel us forward in life because we can tune into this frequency of our ideal happiness. And even just like believing that we will experience, it's almost like manifesting it, believing that you will experience this 10 of Cups is in my mind, in this situation, something where it's like, that's very much the sun energy, where you can see your vision clearly and you're optimistic. It's like a really strong yes card. It's about like saying yes. And so maybe you view this person as someone who has been like a little bit closed off or disempowered with the Emperor here, maybe feeling like they aren't going to be able to get what they want or go toward what they want in life. Maybe feeling like it's hard for them to build, or because Aries is this energy of going after what you want, and it's also a fire sign. It's a very like passionate sign, and I feel like maybe this is someone you feel maybe lost their spark And yeah, especially with the Nine of Wands here. So, yeah, the Nine of Wands in reverse can be an energy where, based on what we've gone through, we've been through a certain level of like trial and tribulation that we're struggling to persevere through it. And so maybe this is someone that was maybe saying things like, I've given up, or like, why even try, kind of like, why even try if, like, you know, I've tried in the past and I've just been hurt. And so it's like, why even try, kind of an energy coming through from this person. And so we have Aries and Leo, both in block positions though. How does pile number 3 view this person? With the Ten of Pentacles. How does pile number 3 view? Yeah, we have the Page of Cups here. So again, there's almost this energy of one person in the connection maybe being in that heavier energy. And then it feels like another person was trying to lighten up the other, or another person was, because the Page of Cups again is going back to that kind of childhood energy, and reconnecting with the sense of fun and play. And so I don't know, maybe it's even possible that this is someone that you do actually have, like, in your life, you have had like fun with this person, or they're usually like life of the party, very lighthearted, and maybe you notice that they don't seem to be, maybe it's like harder to connect with them in that way, you know. But I feel like underneath it, I do feel like this is someone that you have like a lighthearted camaraderie with this person. Yeah. Okay. Also, I feel like you might view this person as someone who, I'm not 100%. Either this is someone that, I'm actually just going to channel intuitively. I don't know why I keep stopping myself. This could be someone that you feel like is just in a temporary time period of depression or not being their usual selves because of healing. And I feel like it's maybe like this person is usually like bright, or, you know, optimistic, and, you know, has hope and like faith in life and doesn't take life too seriously. And it's like, you don't usually see this person bogged down by life, or, you know what I mean? So this could be someone that's typically able to see the bright side, or able to, you know, maintain their willpower, even in the midst of a world that has all of these, like, I'm seeing in this case almost like tradition, but in a sense of things needing to be serious, and, you know, you need to follow the rules, or you have to, I don't know. I almost feel like maybe this person in the past was someone that was able to bring fun to that process, or just never took things super seriously. Like, never, you know, like, I feel like you would associate this person with being fun. But it's almost like, it feels like they're the kind of person that wouldn't typically put responsibilities and what they should do over what makes them happy. So I feel like this is someone who's usually able to seek out happiness and fun, and, you know, instead of just being super serious, or like, I don't know, kind of like losing your spark a bit. Like, I feel like you feel like this person maybe has lost their spark. Can we clarify the Ten of Cups in reverse? We have the Knight of Swords. Can we clarify the Emperor in reverse? Yeah, Seven of Pentacles. And then the King of Wands here at the back of the deck. Interesting. Yeah, so I do feel like this definitely could be a fire sign, or someone that has fire in their chart. They don't have to, but the way you view them, though, is someone that typically has this vision and maybe is very capable of like building their passions in the world. And they may even typically be kind of a leader, but it's giving like a leader that paves their own path and never settles for what they should do, even though it makes them feel mundane and not alive. But I feel like you're viewing this person, though, as maybe struggling to build right now with the Seven of Pentacles and the Emperor in reverse. Maybe someone who feels like all of the work that they've put in, you know, I'm getting an alternative meaning here, but like, maybe you're feeling like this is someone that is just feeling disempowered to take action or create a plan and kind of take control to build the life of their dreams, because it's almost like they're feeling like things aren't going the way they wanted, or they're disappointed with the progress that they've made, or they just feel like their dreams aren't growing the way that they had hoped. Another energy that I'm potentially getting here is like, it's possible that you view this person as someone who maybe has been unrealistic in their life, or maybe someone that kind of has had, maybe they didn't take things super seriously, or like they always kind of had this, lighthearted way about them, where maybe they were able to see the positive in a lot of things, or, they just were a bright light is what it feels like. But also maybe someone that could be seen sometimes as naive, or it's almost giving like a dreamer kind of a vibe, where it's that romantic, like the Page of Cups is a dreamer. And so I feel like you view this person as a dreamer. But I feel like you're viewing them now as someone who's disillusioned by what's like, it's almost like reality versus this person's like vision. Maybe this is someone who sees like a rose tinted glasses when it comes to life. And maybe it's almost like reality is hitting them. And I feel like this is like your perspective though. And I feel like maybe reality hitting them, or maybe certain things not going, maybe certain things that they were really sure about with the Knight of Swords, they're now feeling like maybe, it just feels like a disillusionment. Yeah. But definitely could be with the Five of Cups in reverse. Like there could have been, this person could have gone through grief or loss or heartbreak or some kind of event that is something that affected all of this. So hopefully that gives you some idea as to who this person is. They could be like funny, or usually just like, I don't know. I just feel like they're able to maybe make anyone usually feel better. So like they might even be someone who's good at inspiring others, or like when they're in their sun energy, I feel like they're good at inspiring others and encouraging others to be empowered and go for their dreams. But maybe right now it's like they're not in that energy anymore. And yeah, that's kind of sad, but that's what I'm getting. It could also be though, maybe there's multiple situations coming through, because I'm wondering also if like this was someone who brought a lot of light to your life when you were in a time period maybe of feeling like uninspired, or just feeling like not being able to see the magic in life. Maybe you view this as someone who was able to, maybe both things are true. Like I feel like maybe in a time period where you were more in an energy of that Seven of Pentacles, or almost like Aries or the Emperor in reverse, feeling like maybe you can't have what you want, or like you can't be a leader in your own right, like you can't pave your own path, maybe disempowered and just not feeling super optimistic, or not really seeing the magic in life essentially. And that can be when like we've kind of grown cynical, or we're forgetting to see the beauty in the small things, stuff like that. And I feel like this may have been someone who was a light for you and brought like lightness and magic, childlike magic back into your life. But I'm wondering if maybe this is someone who's now struggling in some way, or, is out of that energy. And I don't know. Either way, take what resonates. You don't have to fit all of those things, but I do feel like we're going to be channeling though the person that is that lighthearted vibe. I believe, I do feel like they're usually that, like that's their usual self, is to be kind of whimsical or dreamy. Some may consider them naive, but there's an innocence to this person. Okay, so but you know what? This is actually kind of crazy, because I feel like I've been seeing on TikTok something that's very relevant to this, but I don't know if any of you guys have seen something about like the rabbit showing up, and all these people on TikTok essentially are posting themselves seeming like very happy, and you know, they're getting ready or they're talking and they're very like upbeat and kind of seems like life's going well. They're excited for their future. It's almost like life is good kind of vibes. And that would definitely represent like the sun upright, you know? And then it's like the rabbit caught me. And then the rabbit kind of represents like time being up for that. And then it's usually right when something unexpectedly bad happens, and it's like maybe you're triggered into like one of like the darkest time periods of your life, and so you're like looking back at that time when you were before that thing happened to you that forever changed you, you know? That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Yeah, you could also, if you just want to look it up, like the rabbit got me or something, or the rabbit caught me. And it's that picture from Alice in Wonderland, the people version with Johnny Depp. And it's like that rabbit, like kind of creepy looking actually. But I love Alice in Wonderland. Sorry, that's random, pointless. But anyways, we're not pointless. I don't know what I'm saying. But it's him holding up the clock and being like kind of like time's up. And that's when she falls into, or I think something changes, you know? I can't remember in the people version, but it's almost this vibe of things being, everything's good, or there isn't chaos, or there isn't, I don't know, or even I'm starting to imagine like a society maybe pre-war, and like how it's all functioning and how drastically like war can change people's lives or a whole like civilization. It's almost like the rabbit, you know? Anyways, sorry, that's what I'm getting. So let's see what this person wants to say to you. Just want to see what that. All right, what is pile number 3's person that's thinking about them? What do they want to say? Okay, 3 of Swords in reverse. 6 of Pentacles in reverse. 10 of Cups in reverse. 9 of Pentacles in reverse. Can we clarify the 3 of Swords in reverse? The Fool in reverse. Can we clarify the 6 of Pentacles? 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Can we clarify the 10 of Cups? Ace of Swords, Judgment in reverse. I'm wondering if this person like made a mistake or something. I'm wondering. I don't know, because with the Fool here in reverse, I feel like maybe something happened where, I don't know, maybe they thought they could handle something, or they thought that they didn't need help or something. Because I almost feel like this person is saying that they didn't realize like how hard something was going to be, or how much support they really need with like the 6 of Pentacles here. Because maybe it's possible that this person through this experience is recognizing that sometimes no matter like how much work they put into something, or I don't know. It almost just feels like someone realizing that they need support, or they can't do it all on their own, or they need help. And maybe they had to go through some kind of an experience to realize that. But they would want to say that they've gotten some kind of clarity, or they've had some kind of revelation. And it could be in regards to like a mistake or something that they did when they didn't have the right perspective, or it's almost like they're seeing something from a higher place, or they're seeing what they didn't understand in the past, or what they didn't see. Can we clarify the 9 of Pentacles in reverse? We have the 4 of Cups, Justice in reverse. Okay. Yeah, and I am wondering if with the 4 of Cups here, like they may have not been open to receiving help, or not been open to I'm kind of getting like this reciprocity energy. Like maybe this person struggles with reciprocity, or like they may feel like they can handle everything, or it just feels like they maybe underestimated how much they might need help, or how much they might it's almost this energy of like jumping towards something and not realizing maybe what it would take to get to the Eight of Pentacles, because I feel like it's, imagine going like from the Ace of Pentacles all the way to the Eight of Pentacles. And I feel like, yeah, there's something around that, like something around, I also feel like the I don't usually see this definition. I need to quickly rebrush on it. Yeah, I'm kind of getting this energy of like the reverse Eight of Pentacles suggests that you are working very hard on a project, but it is not leading to the desired outcome. Instead, you're feeling frustrated and disappointed by the lack of success and progress. You may be lacking the skills and talent that is necessary to be successful, and it simply isn't for you. Yeah, so I'm kind of getting that sort of an energy where I'm wondering if this person maybe thought things were going to be easier, or they thought they already had the wisdom or the, I don't know, like it's almost like they thought that they already knew how to succeed in a situation, or it feels like they thought that they didn't need to be super like cautious of all the details even. So that's what I'm kind of getting, is like they would want to say that they didn't realize what's some sort of leap of faith they took, or it could be an opportunity, some kind of new beginning that they decided to maybe jump toward. I feel like they maybe wanted to believe that they had everything they needed, or like they were already in this Eight of Pentacle energy, like already in a position to, I don't know, like they maybe thought that they already had mastered something, or they maybe overestimated their competence in something, so then they underestimated the support they might need or something like that. But it just feels like someone's kind of admitting that they can't do something on their own. And yeah, and in that not only that, I feel like they're realizing that they're not going to be able to create like this 10 of Cups energy if they continue to feel like they need to do everything on their own. You know, it's almost this energy of saying like, I realize that I need to accept help and accept support, and I understand that the ideal vision of my future involves like reciprocity. You know, it involves like a receptiveness to other people's offerings. And so yeah, it could be like a hyper independence that this person's aware of. But yeah, I almost feel like this person with Justice in reverse, it feels like they're maybe realizing that they are imbalanced in some way, or they've been coming from it's almost just like they're especially maybe when it comes to relationships here. Or maybe they feel like they'd even want to say that they're maybe getting karma, or like the consequences of their actions, or like what they kind of did in this situation are now being viewed, or like they're getting their negative karma. So they're when I say negative, it's almost just like the hard truth, or they're seeing maybe how their decisions led them to where they are now. And I'm also wondering if maybe it's possible that you may have tried to ground this person, or give them advice, or kind of caution them. Like you might have, like, for example, if someone wanted to take a job that was like way out of their, like, it's almost like, imagine someone jumping from like this entry level position to being like a leader or something, and kind of just assuming that you can figure it out as you go, or like you can kind of swing it, and not realizing all the work that's going to come with that, and then kind of failing because, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But what I'm getting is that it's possible that you had at one point given them advice, or tried to I don't know, maybe like you were trying to say like you don't have to do it alone, or you might need help with that, or maybe you might want to slow down or go in a slower way, be more realistic, instead of kind of just being like that Page of Cups, that's very like doesn't worry about anything too deeply or doesn't really look into things too deeply. It's almost like the vibe of someone being like, it's fine, like I'll wing it, and it's like, but you were offering them like, you were offering maybe help them like practice their presentation or something like that. And instead of being like open to that advice and going, okay, like maybe I should kind of consider this and that actually might really help me get a successful outcome. Instead, imagine someone like being overly confident and then winging it and getting a bad grade. And then they're almost looking back like, wow, I really should have listened to Paul number 3. I really should have been more receptive to what they were offering me. Yeah, I just feel like now they're they've almost had some kind of experience in their life where they're realizing that they need support, and so maybe this person is someone who's used to kind of maybe cheering other people up or something like that, but like they don't really allow other people to support them. Or maybe this is the kind of person that can really project outwardly like everything is fine, but like deep down they are really struggling, And it could even be that they're maybe realizing how attached they were to, I don't know, just not admitting. It's almost like they were attached to being that lighthearted energy, or like being that person that's like, no, it's fine, I don't need it. Like, it's all good. Like, everything's going well. It's not a big deal. And then like behind the scenes, it's like they are struggling sometimes, and I feel like that attitude maybe does help them in a lot of situations of not like taking things too seriously in a way. But I feel like there are some situations that you do want to take seriously, if that makes sense. So it's like, yeah, it's like you don't want to jump into something unprepared. There is an energy coming through, especially with Justice in reverse, is like, I feel like this person's learning a lesson around like true balance, and maybe even relationships. It could be like a job thing as well, especially with the 8 of Pentacles, but there's an overall message of realizing that life requires you to take certain things seriously, not because it's like a Debbie Downer energy, but more because there's sometimes discipline is like needed for success. And like, for example, if a person that doesn't have a lot of emotional intelligence or hasn't really done a lot of healing work on themselves, jumps into a relationship, and thinking that it's going to go well, it's like they may be lacking the fundamental skills that will allow them to be an equal partner or to make the right decisions, essentially. Does that make sense? So it's almost like, I feel like this person is realizing that they aren't as far as they thought. Yeah, you know what this is reminding me of? There's a specific card coming through. It's the Virgin's Milk. Sorry, that's kind of like a weird, well, I'm not going to apologize for it. I didn't make it, but it does actually make sense. But let me just read you. I feel like this is someone kind of admitting to this energy. This person also has a lightning, and there's 2 cards I want to read you from this, and they are very relevant, so bear with me. I don't think you'll regret. Oh, I think it is like a substance. So this is the Kim Kran's alchemy deck. So it says innocence, naivety, purity. So I feel like that actually goes hand in hand with the Page of Cups and what we were kind of looking at before. So it says, okay. There's a message. How can milk come from one not carrying a child? That is precisely the nuanced teaching of this card, essentially. When studied as an alchemical concept, it points to a lack of awareness or experience that the alchemist would rather not reveal. Yes, this milky substance is a symbol of purity and innocence, but its shadowed side is naivety and even denial. When the virgin's milk appears, discernment and honesty must be applied to the work. And I feel like that's the Ace of Swords here as well with the Judgment in reverse. It's like this person is wanting to get honest about what they were kind of maybe in denial about or unaware of. They're here to say to you, they recognize their folly, or they recognize that they've been weathered in some way where they're able to see this energy in themselves. So it says, when honesty must be applied to the work, is something being glossed over, rushed, or presented as perfect? There are likely complexities that need to be addressed so the alchemist can gain the maturity to handle what's next. Yeah, and so it's like if you don't do that, if you oversimplify things or gloss over or try to rush it and kind of say, no, it's good, I'm good, like, it's almost like, think about in the school project idea, it's like there's maybe like a lot of this person saying that, or like a person would be saying that, and maybe the person trying to offer them help is like, okay, like I've given that kind of presentation before, and I know it's not something you can wing, so why don't we practice this? Do you know? It's almost like you need to know what you don't know in order to succeed sometimes. And I feel like this person is in a situation like that, where it's like they did not know what, they were unaware of what they didn't know. So they maybe, again, were overly confident or just thought it would be fine, kind of. Yeah, so it's saying you need to know your measure, essentially. So it can help the so like in some scenarios, this can be good energy because it's like it can help you kind of act as if, or like wing it, but it's important to know your measure. So I feel like this person is kind of wants to say that they maybe weren't, they were in this energy, essentially, is what they want to say. And so this is saying also, like, maybe this is, maybe this person did grow up quickly, or like maybe there was a lot expected out of them, or like maybe even being like perfectionist, but, or like there's almost this energy of being afraid of saying like, I don't know, or I need help, or, like I don't have this covered, essentially, or like I don't know what to do. So it says, it's remedied by admitting exactly where you're at. Humor and humility help. Yeah. And so I just want to read you also another card. Is like, I feel like this person is recognizing that they're in this energy too. Like, so it says perfectionism, facade, hesitation. So this is a phase where the alchemist may mistake the work as complete. On the surface, everything seems perfect, pristine, well thought through, and quite complete. In actuality, the alchemist has been tricked by their own facade of perfection. Their work has hardly begun. Righteousness and fear are great errors of this card. This card arrives to remind us to get our hands dirty. No one is separate from or above anyone else. Rather, every alchemist is a kid in the laboratory, tinkering away with the elements of their life. No more fretting over your next move, fearing how others will perceive you. It's time to crack open, become who you are. The world needs your true colors. So, I mean, I don't know. It could be that that energy relates, but I'm almost getting like this person, I don't think they were actually in an arrogant energy. I think that card came through to really say that I genuinely think that they want to tell you that they weren't trying to be arrogant, or they weren't trying to, I don't know, be self-righteous or something. I feel like they're wanting to say that they genuinely underestimated, or they genuinely overestimated how ready they were for something, or how prepared they were. And so, yeah, it just feels like they're seeing kind of the outcome of this. But I want to clarify, is there anything specific about Justice in reverse? Yeah, the Chariot in reverse. It's like I feel like they've kind of reached a blockage where, and again, I'm really getting that vibe of this person realizing that they can't just kind of keep, even if they have like the will, sometimes you need more than just the will to succeed. Like, you need like a lot of you need your chariot to be built. So I almost feel like this is someone who wanted to be in this chariot energy, like overcoming obstacles and feeling like they can do that. But I feel like this person didn't build their chariot correctly. And so I feel like they're realizing that if they don't prepare for challenges, their willpower can only take them so far. It's like the Chariot upright, though, is when you're in this balanced energy. So you can be adaptable as well. Like that's what the Chariot can kind of talk about, is like, and that was also the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. It's almost like this need to have dexterity, and it's like you need to know the complexities of something in order to navigate it, is what I'm kind of getting. And so I just feel like you may have wanted to, I just feel like you might have given this person some sort of I feel like you might have, well, you did. So it comes through that you did see this person, or like you did see that Page of Cups energy and that vibe of like that Three of Cups of wanting to be very lighthearted. And I feel like that is like a beautiful energy that this person has. But I feel like at the same time, I think you could see what this person maybe was not perceiving correctly. So yeah, that's what I'm getting. So this person just wants to admit that they need a lot more help than they realize. And, you know, they're not really as self-sufficient as they thought they were. And yeah, it could even be that they are recognizing maybe their need for help when it comes to healing. Like maybe this is someone who underestimated how much healing they still had to do, or they might have just felt like, you know, I don't need to go to therapy, or like I can kind of just brush past something. And this could even be like that in the situation where maybe this person is like saying that I thought I could just move forward without addressing things within myself. I maybe underestimated how much there was to unpacked within me. You know, I feel like that's possible. And so maybe it's also possible that maybe you were like for those of you that you were in a relationship with this person, I'm wondering if, you know, they weren't able to do right by you. And I feel like they're wanting to say that they were unaware, or like they genuinely believed they didn't it's almost like they're saying they needed to go through some kind of life experience to realize this truth, because they didn't know it before you came in the picture. Yeah. And it's even possible, like, I do wonder if, like, just is another scenario coming through of, like, maybe someone where you maybe, let's say that you were telling this, I just feel like this person jumped into something before doing their due diligence of making sure that they're really healed, or like I feel like this person just thought they were fine or something. But I just want to see, what is the Three of Swords about? Yeah, the Knight of Wands is almost this vibe of like just jumping towards something and kind of running away, maybe from, I'm kind of getting logic, but also like the truth of their heart. Yeah, maybe this person was kind of following their impulses, or they hadn't, and especially with the Fool here, it's possible that this person didn't successfully close out a cycle, or like maybe they don't learn their lesson, because Judgment in reverse can also be this energy of repeating mistakes, and it's almost like you just went through something, and instead of going like, wow, there's a lot I need to unpack here, and I really need to figure out what went wrong, maybe this is the kind of person who'll just jump towards something else and go, oh, whatever, like that doesn't really matter. But yeah, I do feel like this person's maybe just recognizing that kind of thing. Like sometimes it's important to recognize when you shouldn't move forward, or when like certain barriers are not like are meant to kind of be respected, or it's like there's usually a reason why you're being blocked, or you're running into some kind of challenge that is causing you to, maybe you have to surrender essentially. So maybe this person was like avoiding the Hangman energy of like surrendering to, yeah, I feel like this is someone who maybe didn't want to surrender to what is, or didn't want to see had trouble surrendering to reality as it is, and instead maybe thinking that they can keep pushing forward, or, you know, they don't need time to stop and, you know, deal with this Justice in reverse. I almost feel like there's this maybe like even a negative karmic cycle here with the Judgment in reverse, where maybe this person had a habit of like, maybe they were able to stay super lighthearted, or like, you know, maybe this person was someone who's kind of trying to avoid like a wintertime period, or avoid, you know, letting like negative events in their life like make them sad, you know what I mean? So this could be someone who was like in denial about their feelings, or maybe suppressed feelings that were true to them. Like with this Three of Swords, it's like it's natural sometimes in life to feel depressed, or, you know, it's okay to have a time period where you're allowing that to come through, you know, and you don't always have to be, you know, good and like the life of the party. Like people will still love you, and you can still succeed if you if you, the Hangman, you surrender to, does that make sense? This person was struggling to surrender to the truth of reality. And I feel like that might have even caused them to, I don't know, like fly by the seat of their pants, or like, I just feel like you maybe warned this person, or you may have, because this is also kind of giving the energy of someone who maybe gets out of a relationship and jumps right into a new relationship. And maybe is in denial about the fact that they maybe should have spent time growing and learning how they, improving their relationship skills. So then they're actually ready to jump into something new, but it just feels like they never address like their baggage or these negative situations. It's like they almost like don't really have space for it, or the capacity to sit with the uncomfortability of disappointment and darkness. And like sometimes life is disappointing. Like I feel like this is someone who's been kind of trying to not see that, but by doing that, they're setting themselves up to be, it's almost like this level of like delusion or like denial that they're living in is now having negative effects maybe in other areas of their life. Or that's what I'm kind of getting, is like maybe they like underestimate. I just feel like there's this energy of realizing what it takes to build maybe a really solid future. Like they're maybe realizing that they're never going to get to their 10 of cups, or like maybe their idea of the 10 of cups is unrealistic, or even their idea of how things work. So they could have an idealized version of like what's going to happen. So they could see like a certain job going a certain way, but not recognizing what it would really take to build that manifestation. Same with like a relationship. It's almost like not seeing the like how much of a need there is for balance. And if there isn't hyper independence, there could even be an energy of like this person not recognizing that they maybe do need to work on themselves first before building the 10 of cups. You know what I mean? Like they need to be in a position themselves. Like it's almost like you need to be aware of what you're actually bringing to situations. So I just feel like this person had a tendency to maybe even be opportunistic, or like jump towards things that, it's that are kind of, it's foolish to think that you can kind of wing it, because you need a strong foundation to overcome challenges. And so I just feel like this person maybe doesn't have the strongest foundation, but continues to try to think it's all going to work out anyways. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we have 2 the sea in reverse. I'm going to take that because that's literally, this is literally, wow. These energies are literally right here. Okay. Wow. 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 Sorry. I'm just realizing, like, it's just crazy that all the cards are right there. I don't usually do that, but this is exactly like the story that I'm getting. So like the To the Sea card really talks about, and this is like a perfect way of describing this. I almost wish I just pulled it, but it's like, imagine if you have holes in your boat and that, or okay, it either could be one or the other. So you need to know your situation for yourself, but I could see this being a situation of someone who's in a pattern of this, or someone who is kind of just learning this for the first time or something like that. Maybe they're like younger, or they just don't have as much experience. But it's like, imagine you have a boat and it has holes in it, and you want to sail and go toward opportunities, or you want to move forward, you want to keep traveling, you want to keep going on your journey. But if you have holes in your boat, it would be very foolish to try to start your journey, because you're gonna drown. You know what I mean? And so the message of this is saying, like, literally I'm gonna read it because it's so spot on to the energy of what's going on with this person, or like this person's pattern. So it's like, when external conditions appear to block every attempt to move forward, and that's the Chariot card here, and that's what I was speaking to about that, the Chariot in reverse, there's no hidden message for you to decipher. Like the ocean, the tides of experience ebb and flow. You are in a natural cycle, so know that things will flow again in due course. Yeah, and that's what I was also getting, is that they have a hard time accepting the natural cycles, of realizing that it's not always, sometimes it's like the push and pull of the ocean. It's like there needs to be balance and understanding of, does that make sense? Almost like this person was on their own timing and just very unaware of reality, or kind of ignoring I don't know, like they're fighting against reality, but it says, you're in a natural cycle. Yeah. So it will flow again. It says there's no cause for alarm. Stop resisting and fighting against the situation and learn to flow even when the tide is going out. Relax and trust in the abundance that will soon be within your reach. An ancient mariner's, oh, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, saying applies to you now. When fishermen cannot go to sea, they stay home and repair their nets. Oh, and so what I'm even getting here is like, this could even be someone who underestimated like the journey. Well, yeah, that's what I'm kind of getting. So it could even not be that this person had, actually it could be either way, but it's just saying like sometimes in life you don't want to force something and you kind of just need to surrender to what's happening and go one step at a time, and instead of like getting ahead of yourself and wanting the results now, or yeah, maybe this person kind of struggles with that, or like they don't want to have to wait, or they don't want to recognize that if they try to go now, it's probably gonna be unsuccessful. And this is the same for the milk and honey. So I feel like this person had this way of this is the same energy. So it says a nameless unease compels you to turn pleasure and comfort as a means of escape of what's really going on. It works in the moment, but only fleetingly before the feelings return and you need to re-up until you're exhausted. Feeling worse than before, you may continue struggling, or you may see the light and choose to surrender to spirit. Now is the time to practice extreme self-care if you can. Do so before you engage in behaviors you will regret later. You are so loved and cared for. Yeah, so that's essentially just saying like, if you keep trying, if you don't surrender to the need to slow down and the need to maybe even nourish yourself, or, you know, receive even like, or if you're this person maybe was someone that was very opposed to yin cycles, with time for a nap here as well. Like maybe they didn't want to slow down, or they just wanted to jump the gun on certain things. Again, it's like, there's the building blocks. Is a part of the yin cycle is about, the yin cycle can be a time period where you are, you know, just in a building cycle, or it's kind of more mundane and it's not super exciting, or you're not really supposed to be moving super quickly, but you are kind of doing the small things every day. Like, it's almost like, think about this even like in your own body, you know, where it's like, if you neglect to give yourself the fuel you need, it's only a matter of time before you burn out. And so it's almost like, imagine instead of like when you're hungry, like imagine that you like drink a bunch of caffeine, like you're hungry and you need energy, so but you drink caffeine instead of surrendering to the fact that you need to go get food and you need to nourish your body and like allow that to rest and digest. Instead, you just want it now. That's like the milk and honey in reverse. Yeah, I'm just seeing that this person is kind of recognizing this. Oh, and I'm also getting with the Four of Cups here, this could also represent them realizing that they need to know when it's time to it's like this person needs to be okay sometimes with boredom, or be okay with just spending time getting their emotional balance. And because like the Four of Cups sometimes is very much like, oftentimes it can have more of like a slightly negative connotation of almost like being not open to new opportunities. But sometimes the energy of not being open to new opportunities is just what you need to just focus on, you know, being peaceful and stability. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, don't worry about all the opportunities around you. Sometimes it's just time to like sit within what you have now and what's going on in your life, essentially. So yeah, I feel like this person is just wanting to kind of say that they understand now, or like they have a different perspective. Yeah, and also with no place like home here, I do feel like there's this potential that yeah, like they maybe were repeating familiar cycles, or like they were too caught up in certain things to recognize that they shouldn't be like too eager to find a new situation or find a new opportunity before taking time to just like be in a yin cycle where you're not achieving, you're not seeking, you're not, you know, you're not like going toward or taking action. You're just, but you still are maybe in the yin sense where it's like you're taking care of yourself. It's like the need for self-care and like the need to make sure you're getting sleep instead of, you know, like jam packing because you don't want to miss any opportunity. It's like, imagine that you stop like sleeping enough, you know, it's kind of like that, like knowing your limits and also knowing like, honoring the fact that we need to nourish ourselves and take care of ourselves. And that is a big part of our success. You know, that's a big part of our success when it comes to a yang cycle, you know? And so I just feel like that's also like with the Eight of Pentacles in reverse here is like not taking the time to go step by step and not being patient enough in a way. Yeah, it's like they're not recognizing how much they need or like how much, how imbalanced they were when they made some kind of decision, when they went towards something, when they took some kind of an action. It's almost like recognizing they like regret not just taking time to like maybe go within or just be in a boring time period, essentially. I feel like they maybe got distracted with something else right away. Yeah. But Ace of Swords is saying that they're realizing the truth of that. Like they're realizing their own folly. All right, I'm just gonna get a couple more and then we'll take it into the extended reading. So I want to see for like those of you that are curious about like this person's feelings toward you or what they want when it comes to the connection with you. I'll be looking at that in the extended, but for those of you, like if this isn't romantic, like, I don't know, you can still see, but like, I'm going to kind of be imagining that most people are going to go because like, this is someone that they're wanting, or even if like you want to know where this relationship is headed or what the potential is for it, that's what I'm going to be focusing on is like, what are this person's feelings and intentions towards you now? What do they want when it comes to this connection? Where is it headed overall and guidance for you? So that's what we're going to be looking at, but, and I'll have that link down below. You can access it through either Vimeo or Gumroad. Yeah. I feel like this person maybe, just didn't know their limits and didn't realize that eventually they're going to hit a brick wall. Like eventually it's the lack of self-care, the lack of, slowing down is going to catch up to you. Like you can't just be go, go, go all the time. And like a lot of success that's actually going to last requires this slow and steady, like the chop wood building blocks, you know, brick by brick. All right. Okay. I'm just not even ready yet, but the self-doubt came out here, but okay. What do they want to say? To pile number 3. Yeah. We have abundance in reverse. And this kind of reminds me here of like the milk and honey in reverse. We have communication in reverse. We have grieve. We have truth in reverse. Anxiety. So yeah, I'm kind of getting here that I feel like they are grieving, or they maybe feel like they didn't, maybe they feel like they were not in alignment with their own truth, or they were in denial, like in a lot of ways that was coming through. So I feel like they may want to say like they've realized a lot of truths about themselves, about this relationship. And I feel like they maybe didn't communicate with you, or they maybe regret not, maybe number one, not being even in touch with their own truth within themselves, and then not being capable of communicating that truth to you. So I feel like this could be something that they are feeling anxious about, is maybe you not knowing their truth, or maybe thinking that, you know, they were dishonest with you, or like they were intentionally trying to hurt you. It almost just feels like they are recognizing their own folly and they're grieving it, and they're actually sitting with their feelings, and they're actually facing the truth now. And a lot of times, like, especially in this alchemy book, it really talks about how, like, so you know how we had like the lightning card? They have like 4 modalities when it comes to like the colors. And so one of them is yellowing, and that is an energy of, and then darkening, but it's like essentially yellow and darkening are colors that really speak about truth. And it's almost like sometimes you have to descend into, let me see, I'm just going to read you a little bit, because why try to, okay, let me just, I feel like this person is actually in this energy now though. Yellowing. So let me see. Okay, yeah. So it says, whatever the message, yellowing tells the truth. It leads us forward. The transition is here, whether by yoke or bile. How you respond to it is up to you. So transition as a teacher. But it says this color seeps out to signify the beginning of an end, a return to zero. Even a deep bruise finds a yellow tint as it reaches final phases of healing. In contrast, yellow can be the marker of a long-awaited growth as seen in the first rays of the sun and the cheer, blah, blah, blah. But also with darkening, I want to read that. So it says, in alchemy, darkness is an achievement. I feel like this person was really avoiding darkness. That's what I was getting, is they were really staying in the opposite energy of this. And I just feel like they have embraced the yellow and it's bringing them toward the darkness, which is good. So it says, it indicates the material. This is 100% a message for about like this person's energy. So it indicates the material has been through a significant occurrence, sometimes called an initiatory experience, that has brought it into a state of readiness for the work. The darkness prepares us. We move beyond the small talk and chit chat of the upper layers of the world and descended into the psychic layers of the soul. We admit who we are fully and bravely, and thus open ourselves to the process of transformation. And that's totally what I'm getting, is this person is almost in this energy of being ready to admit exactly where they're at, who they are, the truth. Like they're realizing that they haven't been in truth, and there's this energy of like going through like a negative or a dark time period, they are ready to admit the truth bravely. And says, it's not necessary to delve into what brought you here, the initiation likely by fire that's caused the embers to char. Rather, it's a time to heal, and darkness is the remedy. Closing your eyes is a voluntary expression of darkening. It's about dropping into the depths and surrendering. And that's what actually allows for transitioning. Yeah. And so I just feel like this person, I'm kind of getting an energy where maybe it's like they haven't been communicating with you, or they maybe been feeling with the self-doubt card. I'm wondering if that for a long time, maybe they were feeling like they didn't want to be honest with you about maybe their lack energy, or maybe that's something that stopped them from communicating, or like they wanted to be in a better position, or like they're almost like embarrassed of not succeeding or not being perfect. You know, I feel like this person has a lot of self-doubt, or feels like the only way they're worthy of communication and connection maybe is like by being successful or something, or, you know, being a very abundant. And I just feel like the Six of Pentacles in reverse, this person is in the opposite energy where they're actually really in need of support and help at this point. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting. I'm going to take into the extended now. If you guys want to kind of see like what this person's feelings and intentions are toward you specifically, what they want or intentions will be in that, and then where the connection is headed, and then just guidance for you as well. So thank you so much for being here. I don't even know how long this was. Probably a long reading. I don't know why they've gotten so long recently, but thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video before you head out if you did enjoy it. And I will have the extended readings linked down below. Other than that, I hope to connect with you again soon.